how lonely it gets, and how long you may be lonely for. And if it's,
I don't understand how you don't get that.
this is gonna sound crazy, but I can see why people settle. I feel like the part of your healing journey that people don't talk about, or this season of solitude, or just finding yourself again, or healing, people do not talk about how lonely it gets, and how long you may be lonely for. And if it's too long, or what may feel like too long, you'll come to this point where you're like, being this alone is taking a toll on me, just like those unhealthy relationships were taking a toll on me. So if both of these things are going to take a toll on me, I might as well do it with somebody. I might as well do it with something I'm used to, or something I'm comfortable with. And I feel like, again, this may sound crazy, but we have to, I feel like we have to talk about this, because not a lot of people do. And a lot of people feel this way, and they may feel shameful for feeling this way, but it's like, no, this is normal. A lot of us be feeling like this. People just don't want to admit it. A lot of people stay in relationships because being alone like this, when you're healing, is very difficult. Because
when you're healing, that's why I don't trust women's healing, their supposed healing journey, because it's a bunch of bullshit. It's really just a bunch of BS. This is the thing where it shows you women toxicity. To think that you are get into a relationship, right? Get into a relationship, and now your viewpoint is like, I'm settling, right? I'm settling for a man. It's like, that is toxic in my view. Absolute, utterly toxic. Because again, you don't care about them, because you don't understand what that does to a man's psyche. To say that I'm settling for you. It's absolutely disgusting. It really is. And it shows you that, you know what? Women's inability of self-reflection. Self-reflection, okay? I've been in terrible relationships. Is it a good idea for me to get into another relationship and perceiving that I'm settling for this man? Is that really a good idea? Am I not now being toxic, being traumatizing to someone else? It's like, this is the thing where women don't give a shit about men. They don't give a shit about men, okay? Because now you are getting in a relationship with a man that in your mind, you are settling for him. It's like, and this is why I say women have such terrible self-reflection skills. No accountability. They don't care. Yes. They don't give a shit. Okay? And here's the thing. There's the likely outcome is the man falls in love with her. While in her mind, she's only using him to get over her loneliness until she's supposedly now in a better place. Using him, right? Using him for maybe his resources, maybe his validation, maybe whatever, his efforts. Using him until, you know what, you are supposedly healed, or you find a man that you don't deem you're settling for. Absolutely disgusting. Women's supposed healing journey is actually just shitting on men.
we're human, and we're not supposed to do life alone. So if you're alone for too long, I'm telling you, you might get to a point where it's like, okay, now this taking a toll on me. This is taking a toll on me. If your human mind feels like you've been alone for too long, your human mind is going to feel like, maybe I should just go ahead and settle. And your person might be right around the corner. This is where trusting in God comes in at. A lot of people say that and end there. But I'm going to be real. It's easier said than done. It's easier to tell you, just keep on going, trust in God. He has something for you. It's so much easier to say that than to actually do it. If you walked away from an unhealthy relationship or situation or even friendship, and, maybe you are walking away from your own unhealthy.
This is why I've always said that women that talk about God God-fearing man, trusting God, all that bullshit. They say all that shit, okay? And then they do it, right? So let's say this, her situation, right? Trusting in God. Go for whatever man, thinking you're assuming you're settling for him. Okay, you go for it. And then you break that man's heart. You break that man's heart, even though you supposedly following God's now. Now you're saying, oh, God told me I'm breaking your heart. God has something better for me. This is the thing where, I'm sorry, this is why I'm not religious, and this is why a lot of men have left religion, have left the church, because honestly, women are using God as a cop-out. Like, it's not my fault, right? It's not my fault, right? I didn't choose to settle for you. I didn't choose to leave you. I didn't choose anything, right? God told me. God pushed me. God did this. God did that. It's like zero accountability. That is why I say when women talk about God, it's a red flag, because honestly, it shows you that this woman has zero self-accountability. Nothing is her fault. Everything is God's will, right? It's God's will. God's will that this man, that I settled for this man. God's will that, I left this man, right? Because, God's going to have me a better man out there. Zero accountability. When women talk about God, when women talk about religion, they are a red flag because of shit like that.
Habits or decision making, and you're healing and you're doing the work, and it's very lonely. You're learning about boundaries and you're communicating these boundaries, and a lot of people have walked away because of those, and it's very lonely, and you've come to a point where it's like, dang, being this lonely is taking a toll on me. I might as well just go back to that. Don't. This is gonna sound crazy, but I can see why people settle.
I mean, this is the thing, right? It just, things like this just shows me that, that why I say that I think men have it better, right? In the mindset where, here's my opinion, right? My last relationship was shitty. She made my life absolute hell, right? She really turned my life upside down. But here's the thing, right? Why it's so important to have accountability, right? Have self-reflection. Reflect, view in your mind, right? Replay your life. Replay the years that possibly you went with this woman, right? That's what I did, right? I replay the years of being with this woman. And I recognize that, I saw the red flags. I see the red flags. I was foolishly choosing to ignore them. It is my fault. I take blame for choosing to be with this woman. I don't blame her, right? I choose to blame. So here's the thing where I say this is where it's so important to have good accountability, good self-reflection, where you view your problem. You know the mistakes you made. So now you are on a journey to, move on. So you don't go back. Okay, you don't go back. And I'm not going to go to it. Let's say if I meet the next person, I'm not thinking I'm settling for them because I'm healing or I'm, I haven't self-reflected or any kind of problem, right? I'm ready for the next part of my life. Okay? Loneliness, yeah, like deal with it. Like, that's the thing where women are so ridiculous to talk about loneliness. Deal with it. It's just ridiculous. That you know what? You choose to be alone, right? How many women say, "Oh, I choose to be alone"? It's like, really, you reject dozens to hundreds of men, and then you complain about loneliness, and then you complain about going back to your ex or going for a man that you will settle for. It's like, absolutely. This is the thing where I don't give sympathy for women, because again, dating is easy for you. It is. You reject men consistently. And now you complain that you're lonely. It flabbergastes me that you complain about you're lonely when you constantly reject men. Men don't have the same way. Men are truly lonely. Women are knocking on my door. But I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because, again, it shows you that women's mentality is very weak, very fickle, very just delusional, in my opinion. Right? Her journey of, like, you know, it's her journey. This is just shows me that the women's so-called healing journey is absolutely ridiculous. It's just them wasting time and giving excuses for possible bad mistakes, possible actions they make. Right? It's not that hard to, you know what? Self-reflect, view your problems, understand the problems you make, move on. But hey, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this one?